the night that breathes before you speak. There are nights that do not fall. They arrive, folding themselves over the world like velvet thought, pressing silence against your skin until the very air forgets to move. And in that dense stillness, the night begins to remember your name. Because the night is not darkness, it is formless memory, a living archive of everything you try to bury in daylight. It hears where humans cannot hear, sees what your eyes refuse to look at, and walks in places your shadow fears to follow. Some say the night only observes, but observers do more than see. They measure, they wait for the moment when a soul becomes quiet enough to understand what has always been calling it. On such nights, the world becomes thinner than paper, thinner than a whispered thought, and the limits between here and the other side soften like warm wax beneath an invisible flame. And on that trembling edge, between silence and revelation, something begins to rise. Not a figure, not a shadow, but a presence. The first sign that the night remembers you. If you stay still long enough, the darkness around you thickens. Not from fear, but from recognition, as if the night tilted its face toward yours and exhaled a forgotten truth between your heart and your breath. Because in the deep corridors of the night, names are not spoken, they are felt. They move like gravity, like a pull in the chest, like a whisper behind the bones. And a presence always emerges first, predictable as destiny itself. It is the one who stands where all paths converge. Exu of the Seven Crossroads. Not a figure of fear, but of orientation. The one who teaches that choices breathe, that decisions echo, and that every fork in the road already knows your steps. Then moves Exutranka Ruiz, guardian of thresholds no human hand can lock. Where he steps, the night becomes a labyrinth, and truth becomes unavoidable. He does not close paths. He reveals the ones you should never enter. And farther in, under a silver-blue hue shifting like moonlit tide, Exu Seven Moons keeps silent watch. He is the astronomy of darkness, mapping destinies in the void, reading human longing like constellations, guiding those who dare look upward even in despair. When the night begins to vibrate, it is desire that steps forward first. Not the fragile kind, but the kind that survived itself, the kind that learned hunger without breaking. And in that tremor, a queen rises. Pambajira Reina, she who bends shadows into silk. She does not walk, she rules. Desire rearranges itself around her. Truth straightens its spine, and fear remembers it once had a heartbeat. Beside her, Pambajira Seatsayas arrives, layered like time, scented like storms that never fall. Her laugh cuts through hesitation. Her presence turns vulnerability into weapon, and every step she takes reshapes the courage inside you. At the far edge of this burning crown, Pambajira Das Almas glides. She walks where no breath lives, speaks where no voice remains, and carries the grief of forgotten generations. In her gaze, even silence confesses, and when the air thickens with a deeper heat, Pambajira de Mayanoid emerges. She is the blade of desire at its sharpest, the sigh between danger and surrender, the pulse that trembles right before revelation. At the core of the night, time stops pretending to move. Midnight breathes differently here, slow, but as if waiting for the exact second. Your spirit becomes audible. It is then that Exuda Mayanoid arrives. He does not rush. He does not threaten. He stands like a hinge between worlds, opening what resists, closing what harms, measuring the soul without judgment. Beside him moves Pambajira's seat in Cruzalhadas, the feminine axis of forgotten routes. She touches abandoned paths, awakens ancient synapses, and reminds you of choices, your bones made long before your mind. Soon after, Exu Kappa Preta steps through. He is gravity wrapped in silence, the weight of decisions made in secret, the cloak that absorbs every lie, until only what matters remains. And deeper still, as if rising from the marrow of the night itself, Pambajira Dama de Mayanoid appears. She is elegance carved in shadow, desire sharpened into intuition, and mystery shaped into certainty. There is a threshold inside every person, a fragile border between what they fear and what they secretly invite. The night knows this line. It presses it gently, then firmly, until truth begins to breathe through the cracks. On that line walks Exodus Almas. He belongs to no grave. He belongs to every transformation. He touches memories left unburied, pulling forward what still beats, even if it beats in pain. Not far from him, Pombagira Maria Padilha rises. Her fire does not consume, it clarifies. She strips illusions clean, reveals desire's real architecture, and teaches that power without honesty is only fear-wearing jewelry. Behind her glow moves Exumarabo, precision carved into presence. He does not talk much. He doesn't need to. His silence rearranges consequences, forcing your next step to mean something. And when the threshold begins to vibrate, Pombagira Menina arrives. Youth without innocence, fire without shame. She dances on the border of revelation, showing that some truths are too alive to whisper. The deeper you go, the more the night changes texture. It becomes machinery, soft, aware, ancient. Its gears turn with your breath. Its doors shift with your honesty. Its pulse answers only to authenticity. In this machinery, Exu Tirataima appears first. He resolves what you pretend not to see. He cuts knots made of denial, opens doors sealed by fear, and makes every lie collapse under its own weight. Then comes Pombagira Reina das Seat, the strategist of desire, the tactician of human longing. She reads hearts like blueprints, interrupts self-sabotage with a smile, and pulls destiny forward, like silk through a ring. Following her, Exu Morcego slides through the dark. He perceives what light hides, hears what people swallow, and unmasks intentions before they can take shape. And in the quiet left behind, Pombagira Cigana das Rosas appears, a perfume of old roads, a dance of forgotten prayers, a compass of beauty leading through chaos. When the world thins, it is not the strongest who approach, but the most precise. The night summons only those who know how to walk without casting a shadow, who speak more with silence than with voice, and who understand the human soul better than it understands itself. Among them rises Exu Veludo, not by threat, but by elegance. He steps softly, negotiating with destiny without raising dust. His domain is the charm of darkness, the diplomacy of the unseen, the agreement forged when no one else can move forward. Then a denser space opens, and from it rises Exu Joao Caveira. His presence does not weigh, it settles. He reorganizes destinies like ancient bones, placing each choice exactly where it truly belongs. As the night begins to tremble, Pombagira Dama de Noite glides in. She knows every shadow by name, every silence by taste, every desire by its trail. In her presence, no one lies, not even to themselves. And then Exu Miram arrives. Not small, primordial. He is cosmic rebellion, eternal mischief, the childlike force that overturns paths, to reveal truths adults fear to touch. At the deepest point of the night, a circle draws itself beneath your feet. Not with chalk, but with intention. It recognizes who you are, not who you pretend to be, and expands only for those willing to be undone. Around this circle stands Exu Ray, imposing but patient. He does not demand obedience. He demands clarity. Your truth is the only offering he accepts, and your denial is the only doorway he closes. Beside him, Pombagira Rosa Caveira rises. The scent of endings, the whisper of renewal. She breaks attachments like thin glass, guiding you through the shards, toward what can finally breathe. From the far edge, Exu de Pedreira steps forward. Stone-made will, the impact of unspoken decisions. He tests the strength of your foundation, and whatever cracks, he removes. And sealing the circle, Pombagira Maria Malambo appears. Humble power, raw sovereignty, the queen of rebuilding from ruins. With her, even the broken becomes path. There comes a moment when the night stops approaching and waits. Everything summoned now stands around you. Shadow, fire, memory, desire, truth, fear, revelation. Exu of the crossroads steps forward, quiet, measuring the new shape of your path. Pambajur Arena raises her flame, illuminating what you can become. Exuda Mayanoit lowers his hand, unlocking the part of you that refused to rise until today. You are no longer walking in the night. You are being rewritten by it. Every entity here recalibrates your pulse, aligning it with what you came to seek, and with what came seeking you. And when the last silence exhales, and the night closes around you like a promise, one truth remains. You did not enter the night. The night entered you.